Well, this could prove to be a big, unexpected early turning point in this save. We're starting to run out of players due to injury, but today we return slightly earlier than planned with massive news. Yes, hello, and welcome along to part 3 of Saving Southend with me, Daniel. We are back today with big news following an interesting start to the season. We've actually done really well on the pitch until last weekend, where we finally started to run out of players. 3 injuries in the same position. I think we were down to 12 senior players at one point, and we lost the game we probably wouldn't have expected to, even in the predicament we find ourselves in. However, before this weekend's game, we have got some big news off the pitch, and it's maybe something that answers some of my questions from the first couple of episodes of this save, and might even be a bit of a game changer. If you're looking forward to finding out about it and seeing how we get on away at FA trophy holders Halifax Town, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. I hope you're enjoying the save so far. If you've missed either of the first 2 episodes, they're up in the playlist in the eye above. But we have got a lot to head through here, so no time to procrastinate. We are going off to the inbox because, as you can see, we're returning midweek and there's a lot of messages here. And they relate to a takeover. So we asked a question from the last episode about the fact that both the current owner in real life and the prospective new owners were both in the game as the owners, which all seemed a bit weird. And now we've got a completely different takeover from another local businessman who had previously owned a club in Ireland. So this guy, Jack Power, is now taking charge of the club. Now the good news here is I can see further up that the transfer embargo was lifted. So it said there was a transfer ban when we took over till the 1st of January, but was that just because of the takeover? Was that because of the financial predicament? And have those situations solved themselves? Because the fact that at the top there you can see more transfer funds are available would be pointless if we're under embargo. So I'm hoping that this person has cleared the debts, and now we've got a club that can financially operate again. Let's get through the messages and see what they say, and then we'll worry about what's been happening on the pitch, because frankly, this is more important for the long term. So local investor Jack Power has completed a takeover at Southend United, replacing Ron Martin, who every fan will be happy to see the back of. If we go to the personal message, thank you for your patience in this undoubtedly stressful time. I'm pleased to confirm that we have managed to secure the club's immediate future by negotiating a deal to restructure the existing debt into a long-term loan. So it does mean we're going to be paying back still, but does it mean we can operate in the window? Because I'm happy to make profit on players, we just need to be able to get some in for now. There are replacements on the board, so actually, those who were involved in the current consortium in real life have now left the club. So there's something a little bit dodgy that's gone on here. We've got 4 new directors in, we've got a new owner, and we've got no more immediate problems with debt, albeit we've still got a long-term loan, which we'll look at in a moment, because financially, all of this stuff is going to be important for us in the next few years. The club vision and expectation has not changed in terms of the 5-year plan and what we've got to achieve. Attempt to avoid relegation is the plan every year at the minute. Work within the wage budget, which is currently not happening, but now we can loan out our youngsters for wages and maybe try and get in a few freebies on loan ourselves. We're also got to develop players for the youth system, which I think was there before. The board lift the embargo on transfers. We're pleased to announce that the club is in a position to operate in a transfer market. Is that it? Does that mean we can do it? And there are extra transfer funds available. The total amount of money will now be 75 grand, an increase of 26. So that means we can just turn that to cover the couple of £100 we're over the wage bill. And we should be good to go. That's the plan anyway. So all of that looks pretty good. Let's see what state the finances are in. Oh, we've got 750 grand. That looks pretty cushy. Very happy with that. Profit is down a little bit this month, but we're not going to worry for now. What about debt and loans? So the bank loan is 1.8 grand a month for the next 5 years. That's not a huge problem for us, actually. So with the deals we've got, the sponsors and all of that stuff, if we can play well and get the fans in, maybe go on a little cup run or something this year, we should be back on a pretty sound financial footing and everything looks okay. What I need to know is whether the transfer embargo or the transfer ban or whatever is lifted. So can we get enough transfer budget over that we can then operate in a transfer window? Yes, we can. So we can move this over here. We go back to that. We're now underneath it. That means we should be able to operate. Now, what we've been doing, as you saw in the last episode, is bringing in great staffing and people who can find us good players for when this situation came. Now, what we need immediately are some free agents and some loan deals. We've got 3 midfielders out injured. We're going to need a loan player to cover that for the immediate. Of course, the transfer window in non-league runs all the way through to March. We can also get 3-month loans or even 1-month loans from fellow non-league clubs, so that might solve some problems. What we have got to worry about, though, is the fact that Ollie Coker, Noor Hussein, and now Kavar Miley are all out injured from midfield, and most of the other lads are knackered, so we've got to protect them. Let's have a look at the scouted players and see what we're dealing with. If we get them in recommendation order, we've got a few free agents, we've got a few players that are loan listed, and we're going to have to try and get some in, because before Saturday, we need to get a squad together that is able to compete. And I know that most of those won't come in. If we can get 1 or 2 loan players, it would be wonderful. So what I'm going to do now is firstly just double check that we can make an offer. So if we find someone useless near the bottom who we have no intent in signing, so let's have a look at George Burrows as an example, we can make a transfer or a loan offer. Right, I've got some work to do. We have got 3 days and 4 hours till kickoff. I'm going to go through this list, find myself some players that I hope I can get in for the short term and for the slightly longer, because this squad needs help. At the minute, if I show you the senior team, we have currently 16 players showing in this squad. 3 of the substitutes are youth players, 1 is a non-contract mid-30s, and 1 is an injured player. I need to get a few in quickly, and that might mean some non-league loans. I'm going to trawl through this list, and I'll be back in a minute to show you what I've gone for. Well, there's big news and there's good news. We made offers for 3 players that just about cover our wage bill, and I feel were the best options to give us depth across the squad. We've gone for a short-term midfielder, as you can see from the first deal, who isn't inspiring, but for 1 month gives us a bit of depth. We've gone for a centre-half, which we desperately need to get us until Lomas is back fit. And we've also gone for a striker to add a bit of stardust. 2 of them are loan deals, as you can see, and crucially, they have agreed to join almost instantaneously, which means both will be available for Saturday's game. The first one is lateral Humphrey Ewers, who is a 19-year-old midfielder from Oxford City. He is a National League player with a bit of promise, 150 quid a week for 1 month. We didn't need a starter here. Hussein will be back in a couple of weeks. We'll also have Miley and some of our own players back in about 3. For now, it was about having a senior player in that area for the next few weeks. And this guy, he doesn't stand out. He's 2 to 2.5 star across a number of positions, and he'll do a job for now. Fairly determined, young, hard-working, naturally fit. Just want to get in the door and have him on the bench for the weekend. So here's the first one in. The second one is a man we looked at the start of pre-season. We are desperate for a centre-half. Not only does Max Taylor join in, give us an actual option in defence, it also allows us to push Harry Taylor into midfield, which is his natural position, or out to right back as well. And those things give us added depth as well as being the centre-half we need. He has agreed a 3-month loan, a bit pricey on the wages, but Lomas will come back from injury then and he'll return to his parent club. He's from Rochdale, he's a good defender, he's got 16 determination, he's going to be good from set pieces. He is out for 10 days to 3 weeks himself, so won't be available this weekend, but is someone who we're going to get for a couple of months. So what I'm going to do with this one, if I'm able to, is I'm going to delay it a week so he comes in when he's basically match fit. That's what we're going to plan with this guy. But there are 2 signings agreed. 1 will be in for this Saturday. And we've also made a bid for Nathan Delfonso. Now there's 2 reasons for this. 1, he can play on the right of midfield, which is a position we're not that well covered. Callum Powell is doing a job there. But to be honest, there's not really anyone else who can. And the second reason is we've got no depth on the left wing either. Dan Mooney is doing a job up front for us. He is a natural left-sided player. And Nathan Delfonso is better. He's also better in the air. He can cover the target man role too. He actually, by coming in 1 position, gives us depth in 4. So if we can get Delfonso over the line at the age of 32, on a deal till the end of this season, I'll be absolutely thrilled. They're the 3 I want done. It will give us some squad depth. And hopefully, we can look onwards and upwards. Let's go and skip ahead to Saturday, see if the Delfonso one gets done. But if not, we have got 1 addition to the squad. And mercifully, our first senior signing, a 1-month loan from Oxford City. Well, a few bits of big news here. Firstly, they may have been battling it out with Southend to be our main save this year. Well, now they're being the thorn in our side because Scunthorpe United have come in for Nathan Delfonso. Let's hope that they haven't offered too much money and that he shows ambition to play at a higher level because he can make a difference here. On the Friday, we picked up a knock to Harry Cardwell, who's going to have to play today anyway, but hopefully he'll be all right. And then today, I put this on out of interest because John Still is a legend at spotting non-league players, and I'm not going to get him to negotiate or accept deals, but I'm allowing him a bit of freedom to go and find players to make an offer for if he feels they'll improve our side. And he's made a loan offer for Greenock Morton's Lewis McGrattan, which I find really interesting. He's a 22-year-old that I know nothing about, seems to be playing well in the Scottish second tier, and if John Still says that someone on 150 quid a week is a good player, I believe him, so we're going to see what he can do. The idea of this save was to incorporate John Still and his non-league brilliance into it, and hopefully he's about to deliver me a gem. Either that, or he's wasting 150 quid a week. Let's go and get through the fitness test. Harry Taylor did have a knock in the week as well. He's not rated as fine to play, but we're going to play him anyway. Harry Cardwell, not quite fully fit, but might have to do the job. We've got a week off after this one, so we can relax a bit more. But before we go and get into this game, let me show you what's been happening off camera, because you were with me for Oldham and Dagenham and Redbridge. A very good start with 4 points from 6. The 5 games off camera, though, have been relatively successful, but bookended by disappointment. We started with a 3-2 defeat at Dorking. You're always going to get goals galore in their games, but we pegged them back from 1-0 down. We actually went ahead, and then we managed to throw it away. The keeper had a rare poor outing, and Bridge and Cardwell's goals weren't enough. Harry Cardwell, though, he has delivered the goods because he got a hat-trick in a 5-1 win against top-of-the-table Hartlepool at the time. Dan Mooney got a couple as well. He also got a hat-trick against Eastleigh, and Dan Mooney got the other one in that one. We got a 1-0 win at Bromley. Guess who? We hung on for dear life here. Our expected goals was about 0.2, and as you can see, Ndee was very much challenging Cardwell for man of the match. And against Kidderminster, we just ran out of steam. We ended up with Jack Wood and Wesley Fonguk in midfield. And on the bench, we had Huet, we had Bangs coming on. We didn't have enough depth. We lost it by 2-1. We were basically out of it by half time. And no Harry Taylor did get a goal from a header. We never looked like getting a result. So through we go to this one. No Nathan Delfonso decision yet. I hope he comes here instead of Scunthorpe. But for now, we have got one senior addition, and it will make our bench a little stronger. In addition to that, we should just about have everybody fit who played last time out, and we are going to bring our new signing onto the bench, which means we don't have to play any more injured players or call on any more youth players. We're looking pretty competitive at the moment as a result. Just checking there's no better youth players there. There are not. This is the team we've got. Kensdale and Taylor, of course, are the big options at centre-half. Harry Taylor, not recommended for selection. What choice do I have? We did have one game, it might have been the Bromley one, where I played Gus Scott Moore at centre-half and Demetria at right-back. Don't want to be repeating that too often, albeit was Scott Morris's best performance of the year. The rest of the team, it picks itself. We've only got 2 senior midfielders fit, and now we've got a substitute as well. We've got Ndee in goal, who's been a bit inconsistent. Maybe David Martin will replace him when he comes in. Ralph and Scott Morris, the fullbacks, with Taylor and Kensdale as centre-half. Howe and Bridge doing all right on the wings, with Fonguk and Wood very much deputising in the middle. Then an injured Harry Cardwell with Dan Mooney up front. We've got to look after Cardwell. If we're 2 up or 2 down, he'll come off. Because for now, he scored 11 goals in 7. He is basically our saviour at this point. And today, with a win, we can come out the relegation zone. Then we can start looking forward. Well, here we go. This is one of those episodes that's been focused entirely on excitement off the pitch. And now, we've got to actually get our attention back on it. Rob Harker, always a goal scorer at a non-league level. Luke Summerfield, incredibly solid midfielder at this level too. You may have seen a funny red card from him earlier this season. Was a hilarious one and did get rescinded. But let's go and get through to the first half of this game. We've got the lads motivated by asking them to put on a worthy display. And for now, we're going to need the best out of this 11. Can Harry Cardwell produce the goods while half fit? And can he stay fit long enough for us to get the game done? That's going to be the big question. Looks like we're up against a back 3 here, which has not been the common ground this season in the National League. And Halifax are playing it out from the back. Does seem in FM24, don't know if you've noticed it, we have to see the start and the end of the game, no matter what highlight settings you have on. As Ali gets the ball in the middle, finds Summerfield. We've seen a lot of early goals, normally in our favour, but this one doesn't look good. Bridge wins it back, but the clearance ain't great. Powell does enough with it though, and Cardwell just hoofs it on, but he didn't look great there. Back in midfield, they've got possession, they've not done anything with it. You can see from the table there, we picked up 13 points in our first 7, which would have been enough actually to have us in the top 9. But now, if we can win this one, we go on to 6 points, which might be enough. Oh, you're joking. You are absolutely kidding me. A quick spoiler alert here. This is something that hasn't happened to me for 4 or 5 years. If you watched yesterday afternoon's head coach, we're now 2 in 2 episodes. Our only senior goalkeeper at the club is injured. The next goalkeeper's not coming in for 2 weeks. And we've not got a goalkeeper on the bench. I'm going to trawl through and see who's got the best goalkeeper rating. But I think we can wipe away any hope of a point in this game. Back in a minute. Right then. 2 players in the squad had a goalkeeper rating of 3. Both fullbacks. Nathan Ralph is 5'9", and we don't have a replacement for him. Scott Morris is 6 foot. He has played other positions this year. And we've got a replacement in Demetriou. So he's going to go in goal. And we're just going to see how it goes. I can't imagine that this is going to be a good game for us. We've got 80 minutes remaining. We're playing against a good top half side away from home. And we've got a right back in goal. This is going to be a challenge. Cross comes in. Ali's header. Tell you what, he had it covered. Fair play to him there. If he can keep a clean sheet, this will be one of the greatest miracles in FM. Cardwell has now picked up another injury. I think we might have to admit defeat in this game. Do we just accept it? If we concede the first goal, I think we take him off and just say, count your blessings for another day here. As this clearly ain't going to be our one. Cardwell's still off the pitch as Ali has skinned the sub right back for pace. Scott Morris again had it covered. Knew what he was doing there. 20 minutes gone. Remarkably, we've survived 10. It's still 0-0. Summerfield gets it out wide on the right. Surely they'd be peppering crosses in. There it is. Cook with the goal. Probably would have gone in anyway in fairness, but not helped there. I'm going to take him off. I can't risk Cardwell here. We're going to go for Max Fidds up front. Mooney will switch sides, or in fact we'll just switch the roles. It's a very disappointing day this. It's not how I expected it to end. Thought it was going to be a competitive one. It's not to be. And now, we've only got 1 sub left with 20 minutes gone. So our star loan signing, who we bought in as an emergency, he might not even get an appearance out of this. It's one of those days, I think. But to go 5 years without having a goalkeeper go off injured, and then to have 2 in 2 games across 2 saves. What are the chances? Is it just a thing for FM24? I don't know. As Ralph gets the ball on the left, cuts it in. Maybe I'm going to have to start going for a sub-keeper. In goes the youngster Fidds. There's options in the middle. Imagine if we equalise. Demetriou. Just over the bar. Went for an effort. It was worth a go, I guess. And at half-time, I said that too early. It's a corner kick. And now, we're going to test the aerial ability of Scott Morris. Doesn't come for it. Taylor heads away. He's given a penalty. Oh, you're joking me. This referee's having me on. I'm going to say it again. It never rains, but it pours. Summerfield steps up. Oh, if he'd saved the penalty, we would have been in dreamland. Would have been the clip for this channel for years. Not to be. It is 2-0 Halifax. I think we can safely say it's game over. To lose your goalkeeper to injury after 10. To lose your star forward to injury after 20. To have a dodgy penalty given against you from a simple header in first half stoppage time. It is not our day. Bridge is cutting in from the left. Can we have at least a goal? Give the away fans something to cheer. As Nathan Ralph gets it at left back. While we're going through these motions, can you let me know in the comments, have you had goalkeepers go off injured this year? Have I just had an incredibly unlucky coincidence to have 2 in 2 games? Or is it a case of, yes, this is in the game this year and you need a sub-keeper? As Ralph's got the corner kick. Fine from the EFL where you get 7 subs up, but here we've only got 5. I don't want to waste them. As that's headed away, we've had a little spell of corners here. But without Cardwell, we've not really got that aerial threat. I am wary of the fact that Taylor wasn't fit to play this game either. And maybe he's the man I should rest, but then I'm not going to get my lone player on, as that's a good save. Free kick for offside. He had a shot from the edge of the box. There was no one in the way. Very odd. It's been an even game in terms of the stats, but This is how it's been today. Big ball in. Ralph wins the header. Golden will hold it up on the right. Chance to get the cross in. Again, testing Scott Morris, and he can't deal with it. The problem here is virtually every shot's going to go in. I mean, the commentary saying we're being carved apart. We're not. They're just humping crosses into the box, and we've not got a goalkeeper between the sticks. As Ralph takes the throw into Bridge, plays a 1-2. Big ball in, pals up. Can't win it. Ali will get it away. Switches as far as Fonguk. We are, of course, missing both of our starting centre mids due to injury. We've got to factor that in as well. As Bridge gets down to the byline, Mooney's in the middle. We've got a goal. Something for the fans to celebrate. They deserve that. We know we're not going to win this game, but we'll enjoy the moment regardless. I am going to take Taylor off with about 25 to go. Look after him given his match load. I don't know who I'm going to bring on. It probably can't be the loanee. It'll have to be the young centre-half from the youth team. As James gets the ball at the back for Halifax. Big ball into Evans. Does feel like from the episode lengths and from the games we're watching, there's a lot more highlights, even on key highlights this year. The voice is on the brink, but Bridge has lost it. Cook gets to the byline, cuts it back. Might as well have a shot, Halifax, and they do. What a save. Scott Morris tips it onto the woodwork. Super stuff. He's been brilliant this year. Had a great game at centre-half, has been solid at right-back, leading a mentoring group as well. I'm starting to fall for Gus Scott Morris. He was sold almost instantly in a Hemel save 2 years ago. But here he's been a brilliant player. As we've got a corner kick, and if we score now, the plan to rest one of the centre-halves will change as Bridge puts it in. Header just over. I said Kensdale hadn't had a threat in recent weeks. He almost did there. But despite that, with 25 to go, it does look like it's going to be a comfortable Halifax win. And what can you do when you've got a defender in goal for 80 minutes? It's over the bar from the free kick. And I will now take Taylor off. Whet will be the man to come on. He's a right footer. Probably prefers to play on that side as well. Apologies to the lone player who won't get on. I don't think we could have predicted this day going quite this way. I mean, it's an even amount of shots actually, to be fair, as Summerfield puts one in. Headed away. Referee manages not to give a penalty this time. And it falls for Summerfield, who might as well shoot. And he's into the bottom corner. Oh, that sums up the day. That's when you might need an actual goalkeeper. 4-1 to Halifax. It doesn't reflect the game at all. But it does reflect the fact that maybe in FM24, I'm going to have to name a sub-goalkeeper. Thankfully, we've got one coming in 2 weeks. But what do we do next weekend? We've got a game next Saturday, and I think the Tuesday after as well, before David Martin comes in. What do I do? Because I don't have an option. I can only play a youth player with greyed out stars. Oh, God. Scott Morris is starting to struggle now. It's 5-1 Halifax. The goal difference is being undone. I can't do anything about it. I mean, even if I tighten up, I'm only inviting pressure onto the defence, so it's not a helpful experience. He's still only got a 5.9. That's the first goal he's been properly at fault for. As Kensdale wins the flick on from his short goal kick. Wet, the centre-half, picks it up. Finds Wood in midfield, loses possession, but then finds Fidz. Chipped over to Mooney, wouldn't mind another goal. Mooney to the byline, Bridge behind him. Might as well shoot, plays Fidz in. Oh, it would have been nice if he'd got his first goal. And as the commentary says, we're playing some good stuff going forward. We are really taking the game to them at times, but defensively, you can't legislate for this. It's headed away, and it stays 5-1. I mean, it's a really frustrating day, because this is a game we might well have got a result out of before. As it is, though, we're back to the joint bottom of the table. And all that positivity from the start, being able to sign players, what else? Tell you what I'm going to do after this? Looking for an emergency loan goalkeeper. We can get someone in for a month with no wage contribution. We might well have to do it, even though it's only going to be for one game. Hopefully Nd's not got a big injury, but I wouldn't bank on it here. As Halifax clear the ball downfield. Where's our defence? Where's the gut? Oh my God, he stopped. What are you doing? What are you doing, Mooney? Why would you just stop there? Gus Scott Morris is never going to save it. It is just falling apart. And I'm going to say it for the third time in one match's highlights. It never rains, but it pours. And it's not pouring now. It is officially a storm as Wood gets the ball back to Ralph. 6-1, and it's not fair. We're going to get slated in the media after this game because there won't be understanding that our goalkeeper's played 80 minutes, will there? Big ball over the top from the centre-half. It's out for a throw. And thank God the game's over. Well, that was eventful, wasn't it? I do like to show the most eventful games for you. I'm going to sound far from pleased, but I mean, come on. What can they do about that? The key news really out of this is not about today's game. It's whether Cardwell and Ndee are going to miss more fixtures. Let's have a look at the inbox. Oh my God, it's 6 to 7 weeks. Right, David Martin is in 2 weeks. No, 11 days, sorry. But we need a goalkeeper before that. Demetriou got injured. He was fine during the match, 2 to 3 days. Cardwell 1 to 2. Right, they'll both be fine next week. But we have got 2 games before David Martin joins. And at the moment, we haven't got a senior goalkeeper for either of them. What do I do? Can we go and find one very quickly? If we go through the scout reports, if we go to the scouted players, transfer or loan listed, don't mind which. Don't care what list you're on, I just want a goalkeeper. Is there anyone who can come in and do the job for me here? Goalkeepers. That's not goalkeepers. What's going on? Is my search broken? I want a goalkeeper. There we go. Mark Cousins from Ebbsfleet or Niall Clayton from AFC Wimbledon. Niall Clayton. Will it allow me an emergency loan goalkeeper? It should be allowing me an emergency loan. I can only loan him if I pay all the wages, which I can't afford to do. And 600 quid a week, he's pretty average for that. Mark Cousins is on even more money. So I'm going to need a favour. He's their first choice keeper. Oh, this is a disaster. Right. Transfers. John Still. I need you more than ever. I need you more than ever. Suggest me a lone goalkeeper. You've got 3 on there. 2 of them are on 55 quid a week, which might be all right for me. We've got a 17-year-old from Arsenal. I've no idea how good he is. We can get him for free. Work experience loan. Yes, yes, yes. This is what we want. There are no loan restrictions for players on youth contracts who qualify for work experience loans. Let's do that for 1 month. We just need somebody in. Can we do it for a match even? Not on this occasion. 1 month, fine with that. Might be a solution to our problem. There was also another one, Nathan Fisher, in the same boat. So we'll just bring in whichever one's rated best or agrees first. No wage requirement at all. 1 month loan. And again, we'll get it agreed just in case, because we need to have a goalkeeper here. So getting one of them in is the important bit. It's only going to be for 2 matches. And then we're going to have the arrival of David Martin. David Walsh from Linfield is the other. No point trying to get someone over from Northern Ireland. That's not really fair. So we're going to get probably a work experience goalkeeper who will play the 2 games before the next episode. Crisis averted, because we will now have an actual goalkeeper. But what on earth do we do from that? Well, hopefully we manage to keep goalkeepers on the pitch. Maybe I bring both of them in case another one gets injured. We are in that sort of form at the minute. But we are going to come back in the middle of October. We will have the 2 new signings that were pre-agreed in this save. And we will hopefully have Nathan Delfonso as well. We will come back for an episode that is quite special for this channel. Woking away on the 7th of October, the side who we did 4 or 5 years with in a stream save on Twitch last year. Loads of former Luton players there as well. And then we start our FA Cup run with a 4th qualifying round, which financially is going to be absolutely massive. I hope you'll come and join me for that. Fingers crossed it won't be as eventful as today. And maybe the world won't all conspire against us. The good news is that in the grand scheme of things and for the long term, this episode has been very good. We've got a takeover, we've got most of the debt out the way, and we can now operate in a transfer window. The bad news is we've got injuries, we've got no goalkeepers, and we're in a bit of a mess at the minute. A lot of panic stations, but hopefully things will get a little better. If you enjoyed that calamity on the pitch, please do put a thumbs up on it. Let me know in the comments about the goalkeepers. Have you seen more in-game injuries this year than ever before? Because 2 in 2 episodes seems a coincidence to me. If you want to stay up to date and find out if we get any more and how good those goalkeepers were on work experience, then please do subscribe and turn that notification bell on. We'll be back at the same time tomorrow with this one, but before that, the head coach returns this afternoon. If you've missed any of the saves so far, it is up in the eye above, as is the rest of this playlist and the Twitch channel, the football podcast, and an awful lot more. But thank you very much for watching. Your support is greatly appreciated. We're probably not going to get many more eventful episodes this season, but hopefully we'll concede a few less goals next time. I'll see you there to find out.